Hi, I'm Kevin Manguiob. I'm from New York City, and I graduated in 2011, and I was on the Liberty Ski and Snowboard team. I transferred here my sophomore year, but initially from high school, my plan was to always, I was trying to get into a lot of schools in Vermont and the Northeast to try to get close to a large mountain there so I could snowboard all the time. But my mother was really against that, and through a lot of things in high school, I ended up at the opposite end of the country at Pensacola Christian College, which is all the way down south, and I did my freshman year there. And then I transferred here my sophomore year not knowing that Snowflex was going to be here. And I grew up snowboarding and had a huge passion for it, but my mom wanted me to be a lot more focused on my studies instead, so it was kind of ironic that I transferred here not knowing that this place was actually going to be built. So I actually ended up taking pictures of it being built, and my mom was kind of a little upset, but I told her I was already here. And it's pretty much how my freestyle skiing, snowboarding kind of started. When Snowflex first opened, the material was pretty new to all of us. I don't think anyone around here ever rode on it, and so that's what drew me in, to be able to ride in the summer, in the spring, and the fall, and especially in this area of Virginia where we don't get a lot of snow. So I was really attracted to it, and it took me a couple of weeks to really get used to the feel of Snowflex, but once I did, I was hooked, and I made a lot of my best friends here.
I first met Kevin in 2009 when Snowflex opened. Didn't know who he really was at first, but it didn't take long just because of his riding style and his ability to just want to reach out and get to know him a little bit more. And then that year was the year that team started, that 2009-2010 school year, and the friendship kind of flourished out of that.
I grew a lot as a snowboarder and as a person here. I spent a lot of time here, and it's really kind of nurturing and growing the part of sport in an area that isn't really thriving as of yet. So when we first started, I think our first season of competing was 2009, and everyone on the team was new to it. I don't think any of us were really familiar with competition snowboarding. We all rode for fun. When we would go up to competitions, we would ride with schools like Duke and UVA and Virginia Tech, and they would ask where we rode, and we said Lynchburg, Virginia, and they had no idea that we had an all-season, all year-round Snowflex facility. So yeah, it was also I think a way for us to be able to also represent what our school stands for during these competitions as well. They knew that we were from Snowflex, but they also knew we were from Liberty, who most people knew that we were a Christian school that believed in Jesus, and so it was also an opportunity. We slowly learned over the years that it's an opportunity to be a light on the hill, and to a sport that is very that really needs Jesus. So. Since I graduated in 2011, I started working full-time with marketing, but I knew I still wanted to be involved with the team, so I asked to be put onto the coaching staff.
No, I can't imagine coaching this team with anybody else. He's my best friend, so he's got a great knowledge base in the sport, but even more than that, his character and his passion.
When I started coaching out after I graduated, and especially when Ryan Leeds became the head coach, we agreed that we wanted the main mission of our team to be the light on the hill, is what we would always say. And because snowboarding and skiing, the culture is very much like no rules and do what you want, and Christ isn't welcome so much in the culture.
That is something that we try to invest in our team. We want them to realize that it's not just about skiing and snowboarding, it's more about going out there and using the abilities and the passions that the Lord has given you to really glorify him and to spread his word. And so they get to like experience and enjoy God's creation in this sport, and then they get to use the platform that they have, with their abilities to be able to spread the gospel. And so we want them to go out there, and obviously we want to represent the school well, but our main focus when we're out there is like we want to bring glory to God, and we want people to come to know him and to have a better relationship with him through the relationship that we have with other teams. So
when we would show up to competitions, a lot of students from these schools knew what we stand for. So we always put an emphasis during the year to disciple the guys and girls on the team, to always remind them that, we're snowboarding and skiing, but first we're called to be followers of Christ and represent him and share his love on the hill to these other kids in these other schools. So we would always remind them every competition to build the relationships with the other riders. We see them a lot during the course of the season, so we always told them to build relationships first, and hopefully God will open some doors to some conversations and hopefully lead some of those other riders to Christ.
I was super excited to hear that he was being inducted, and I'm super honored that he chose me to introduce him for that. One, again, just because of our friendship, I think that's huge. But I don't think any of us, when this started, we were like, this is what we were shooting for. Just trying to enjoy snowboarding and skiing while we could. And so it's really cool to see that he's a pioneer for our sport. Like, he's the first one to do this. And so I can't imagine anybody better to kind of be inducted, because he exemplifies everything that you would want in a Hall of Fame candidate.
I was really taken back and excited, and just feel truly honored that I can help represent the program and show, hopefully tell people how far it's come along, and how much the riders have grown over the years. And so it's definitely a huge honor, and thank you to Club Sports for continuing to invest in us. Not a lot of schools have a program like this, so thank you.